Hello, so for today's video, this is going to be look 7 for the Makeup Revolution and Friends collection. So this is going to be the last part of the little mini series, if you wish. So basically I've done 7 days of back-to-back videos using everything from Makeup Revolution and Friends. So today is going to be one look with the Phoebe palette, and I know it's only one look, but obviously I can't really, I mean, I could do 8 videos, but to me it's just weird if you have 7 days a week. But obviously I'm knowing the collection, I'm liking it all, and yeah, so after I do this I'll give you a rundown of what I think's worth it and what I really love and what I recommend and things like that. Obviously all the videos will be listed in the bottom bar in case you want to go back and see different palettes or different looks, all of that bottom bar, and I'll put a few in the eye as well so you can go and check them out. Oh, swatches are in the first video as well. So we're going to do, like I said, Phoebe today. So this is the outer packaging for it, and when you open it up it is the same on the inside. So just looks like so. And then you have like these colours, very like pretty, very neutral. Yes, but I'm definitely using this shade today because look at it. So gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom you in a bit closer so you can get a good look at my eyes, and then we'll get started. Okay, so I've already done brows, brow highlight, prime the eyelids and stuck some tape down because we're going to do like this winged out kind of situation. I know what I want. Okay. So we're going to start off by taking Ice in the palette, which is this shade right here. And I'm just going to take that on the Spectrum B06 and we're going to run that through the crease. Make sure it's going out towards the tape as well. When you go past the tape, don't matter because you can sort of clean up the mess a little bit. I'm just going to further buff that out. So this is just a clean brush, and this is from Crown Brush, and it's a C429. Then I'm going to take Lobster in the palette, which is this shade here. And I'm going to take it on a Spectrum A07. I'm going to put this into the socket. So just really packing that shade on. Then just buffing that out again. Then on a smaller brush, so this is a Crown Brush C528. I'm going to go back into Lobster again and really pack that on the outer corner. So we're going to do a cut crease, but I want it to be half. I think Lobster, like I can't tell, like on my eye it doesn't look completely matte. It looks almost like it's got a sheen to it. Which obviously sort of depends if you sort of like that kind of thing. Just taking this brush and just going in and sort of buffing that colour really through the socket. Then again taking that Crown Brush and just buffing, especially the outer corner. Okay, so we can remove the tape away now because we don't need it anymore. Obviously you can sort of see it hanging over, so I will clean that up later. But I'm going to cut the crease now. So I'm going to take the Collection Last Perfection concealer. I particularly love this concealer, but you know, I'll use it to cut the crease. So I've just taken that literally on the back of my hand, and I take a Peaches and Cream, this is a PC51 brush, and really pack this on like both sides as well, because we want the brush to be like as wet as like flat as possible. So we're gonna just put a bit on the lid, and where this line sits, so we're gonna cut our crease too. So I literally just take the brush and just almost pack it, pack and swipe. And then when we get to like the corner bit, just take it and drag it down. Sometimes I like to do more than half depending on my mood, but generally I'm not sort of bothered if it's dead on half or not. Then this is the brush I used to put on my eyelid primer, so just take it and just pat this. Because when it's wet, and if I look like really up, it'll transfer literally up to my eyebrow. That's a bit dramatic, but still. So I know I've cut the crease, but I'm going to go ahead and remove it. Obviously if you're like a pro, you could take a bit of water and remove sort of the shadows, but I'm not. I just prefer a clean lid for this kind of look, so that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. I just feel like if I left this on, it is way too heavy for the shades. Like the shades are very like light and I'm trying to think of the right word, but I'm just going to remove this anyway. Yeah, but they're like too light. They're not, it's like they're not, it's not that they're not pigmented. It's just that they're like almost like pastel kind of vibe, if that makes sense. I know it's like still a little bit on there, but I'm not overly fussed because I'm going to do some blending now. So I'm just going to take the little crown brush and just sort of buff this over slightly. I will obviously do some more like buffing when we get the lid colour on and stuff, but just generally for now. I'm just sort of taking that brush as well and just buffing this out, just because I don't want it to be too crisp. I was going to use Bike, which is this beautiful blue shade, but blue with orange. Like, to me, it's a bit of an odd shade to put in this palette for some reason. Like, unless you're going to use like just this and that shade, then maybe, but I don't know, like it's just so weird, but it's so beautiful and I don't know if it's going to go, but we're just going to go with it anyway. So yeah, I'm going to take that on a Spectrum A16 and just put this over the blank space. Now I'm going to do some more buffing. So there's no extra product on this. I'm just going to buff these shades into one another. And also take the little brush that you used and just sort of drag it as well. Okay, so we're going to take Science Boy, which is this shade right here. And I'm going to almost like draw like this sort of glittery line down here. I'm going to take a brush, see how I get on. If it's bad, then I'll take my fingers, sort of pat it on. But I mean, it's coming off on the brush nice, so it should be good. So I'm just going to sort of pat this on here. Ooh. Just sort of drag it about. Sort of spread out nice. That is gorgeous. I'm just taking the little brush and just sort of buffing. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to obviously finish the other eye off, apply lashes, apply my base, and then we'll come back and finish the lower lash line and then the lips, and that'll be it. Okay, so everything is now on, so we're going to move back to the lower lash line. I'm going to keep it super simple here. Literally just mix ice and lobster together and just run it along the lower lash line. Taking that little crown brush and just buffing that in. Don't worry, I'm going to fix this lash. I know it's like hanging off in the inner corner. I'm just going to buff that out with the B06. Okay, and while we wait for that lash glue to dry and we can stick it back down, I'm going to take the highlighter. So this is the Balm Mary Luminizer and it's what's on my face. I'm just going to pop it on the inner corners. Then I'm just going to finish it off with some mascara. So this is the KVD Go Big or Go Home. But you're literally going to see none of this. You're going to see my mirror. So I'm going to take the Phoebe lipstick. So the packaging is same as the palette packaging, but then it just looks like so. So it says Phoebe, and then you get the lips on the top that tell you the colour, and also the bottom. So it's this very like sort of plum shade. So I'm just going to put this on. So I think we're even. I can work with like a liquid lip, like a wand, but as soon as it's a bullet, like I struggle, especially with duck lip. I feel like we're okay. So now I'm going to take the gloss. So this is the Phoebe gloss, and these smell like self tanner. This one doesn't smell as bad, but they do not smell good at all. So I'm just going to put this on top. So it's actually quite a bit darker than the actual lipstick itself. Okay, so this is the finished look, and I love this lip more than I thought I would. This is actually really pretty lip, very autumn vibes, very pretty. Obviously I didn't tell you, but you can get the Friends Revolution mirror, which I love. I think this is great. So my final thoughts on the collection. I love the collection. Everything has thoroughly impressed me, apart from the Phoebe palette. I'm not gonna lie, like the eyes to me are just, it's too natural for my liking. Like I am a full glam girl, so obviously it's all personal preference, but I feel like if you're a beginner in makeup, you will absolutely love the Phoebe palette because you can do no wrong with it. Like it's not got, you know, very deep colours. It's like very neutral and very like, oh, this is a light shade in the crease, and you know, this is a pretty lid shade, and then you have a little bit glitter just to amp it up a little bit to make it look like you've got a lot going on. I feel like it's very beginner friendly, very natural type of a vibe for the Phoebe palette. My personal favourite was Monica. I loved the Monica palette. The looks are done with it, that really like deep, like sort of this shade on the eyes with the like the champagne colour, and then that browns, and yeah, like that's sort of my vibe of a palette. Like I love that palette. The Rachel palette was really good as well. I feel like the Rachel palette is very much like sort of same as Phoebe, but you get that bit of more extra punch, like it's more pigmented. You get like that nice pop of pink in there, really really pretty. The big black Flawless Limitless palette or whatever it is stunning. I recommend that to everyone. It is beautiful. The highlight shades in it are great. All of the shimmers, the mattes, everything I tried worked wonderful. They swatched great. Obviously I haven't used the whole palette, but I've done like 2 looks, done some swatches and stuff, and honestly like the shimmers in these are so pretty. Like they're just like gleaming, they're not like chunky, they're so beautiful throughout all of the palettes. I do highly recommend the black one out of everything. Like if you're going to pick up a palette, I recommend definitely that one. I know like it's more expensive. It's like, I think it's £20, which is obviously really good for the price. Like I look at that palette and the layout, everything gives me like Natasha Denona vibes. Like not the pigments and stuff, like obviously Natasha Denona is next level, is very expensive, but that whole setup, like I get a very luxury feel for it, so I can understand why it's £20. The lipsticks are beautiful, 10 out of 10, so stunning. They are pigmented, they're everything. I love them. Lip glosses, I give a 9 out of 10 just for the scent alone. Like the scent is awful. Like I said, it literally smells like self-tanner, so if you're very sensitive to scents, I wouldn't really recommend a gloss, but they are beautiful. Like if you like looking for one and you're like, oh, it's only like £6, go for it. My favourite out of the bunch was Rachel. I know it's only clear, but I love a clear gloss. So beautiful. The one I didn't particularly love was Chandler, just because it was a bit too pink for my liking, like that Barbie pink. I'm not into that, but I feel like I could sheer it out with like a pinker lipstick and make it work. But yes, this is like my final thoughts and everything on the whole Friends collection. Oh, by the way, I do recommend the mirror and I recommend the hair scrunchie. It's super beautiful. I really want to try out the Nightmare Before Christmas collection that they just bring out, but unfortunately like I missed it and I didn't get a chance to get it. If I do, obviously you'll see 7 days of that as well, because we're going to really put stuff to the test. But maybe not next week, but the week after, you should be seeing the Beauty Bay and Nikki Tutorials palette. Like I've got a few ideas in mind what I want to do for that, but I don't think it will be after this. I need like a few days just to bring myself back down a bit and sort of get ahead and edit, record, all of that stuff. So yes, this is obviously everything complete, so I hope you enjoyed.